Who doesn't love a big American style sandwich? Today I'm gonna run you through 3 of my favorites, and first up, the Philly cheesesteak. Let's get stuck in. So the Philly cheesesteak is super simple. There's a bit of debate. There's not really any debate. It's like whether to have peppers or not. I think in Philly, no one has peppers on it. Seems to be an outside Philly thing. So it's onions, provolone cheese, or whiz. I'm not a huge whiz fan, I'll be honest. Sorry if you like it. So we're gonna go provolone, the hoagie roll, and of course, beef. In particular, rib of beef. We're gonna slice this really thin. But first up, let's get these onions sliced up. So onions, sliced nice and thin. So the cheesesteak was invented in Philly in the 1930s at a hot dog stand. It took off, gained popularity, and that business is still running. It's called Pat's King of Steaks. Go check it out if you're ever in the area. So the onions are done. We're just gonna put those to the side. Guess I should use a fancy dough scraper. Now, annoyingly, I kind of wanted a piece of provolone like that. It makes it much easier to slice, so then you can get like nice rings to put on. I couldn't find any, so I've got this. So I'm gonna grate it instead, but I'd rather slices, but so be it. So you want sharp provolone, really? Something with a bit of bite to it. I'm just gonna use a box grater and grate this on the big side. So we're just gonna slice our bread. Like most things, you wanna make sure you're ready before you start cooking, because this will happen pretty quickly. But slice it open lengthways, done. They don't normally toast the bread either. It's just gonna be nice and fresh and soft kind of in the middle. Like a little crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle, delicious. Okay, the meat. Now it helps if this is really cold or even kind of partially frozen, or you've got a really sharp knife. Effectively what you're trying to do is take really, really thin slices off, as thin as you can get it. Now you definitely want a little bit of fat in there, but not too much, because this just doesn't take long to cook, so it might not get a chance to render out properly. Cheesesteak restaurants in the States, they do get this meat a lot thinner, but I'm guessing they use like a deli meat slicer or something, and they'd probably have it really, really cold. You could actually ask your butcher to do this for you if you wanted to, because they should have a deli meat slicer. All right, that'll do for now. Let's go out to the flat top. Okay, so you're gonna wanna cook this on like a flat top, so a barbecue works really well, kind of a medium high heat. If you don't have one of these, don't stress. You can use like a big cast iron pan inside. All right, we're gonna start with the onions. Just get those cooking and push them to one side. Season with just salt. Once your onions have got a little bit of color and they're like softening up, just gonna pull them off to one side. So I've got a grill here, so I'm just gonna put it into a cast iron pan, just to keep them warm. All right, we're gonna turn this grill up to high as it will go now, only because it's at the right temperature now. As soon as we cover this in beef, the temperature is gonna come right out of it. Decent amount of oil, and on goes our beef. Season with salt. Once you got good color on one side, give it a flip. Now you wanna be pretty generous with this, with the meat, and get it kind of in the shape of your sandwich. Get some onions on top, and then the cheese. Now the cheese is the only real moisture thing in this sandwich, so don't be shy with it. I'm just gonna drop this lid so it melts. Got my bun ready, my tummy's grumbling. It's ambitious. All right, time to load that sandwich up. And load her up we do. Can I fit it all in? Looks pretty good. Let's get it inside. Let's have a taste. I'm gonna do a sacrilege and cut it in half, but it looks pretty good. Beef, cheese, onions, look at that cross section. I think that's the trick, is to try and load it up. I'm just having a moment. It's really good. It's super savory, you know, and for a sandwich that doesn't have any like mayonnaise, you know, or dressing or anything, it's moist and delicious. And I think that comes down to how fast you cook the meat and making sure you don't overcook it. And I think I'm gonna take back my comment about the cheese whiz earlier. Sorry to the cheese whiz fans out there. I can see why this would work in the sandwich. That extra gooiness would really help. Not that I don't love the provolone, I think that's absolutely delicious as well. Anyway, I'm gonna go and eat the rest of the sandwich, and then we're gonna make prawn or shrimp po' boy. So next up, the po' boy, or in a southern accent, I think it just means poor boy. That's what it traditionally came from. From the Martin Brothers, it's all about the bread. So the bread is effectively a French baguette, but a crunchy version. Kind of similar to a banh mi, if anything like that. Tricky to find long versions of banh mi in Australia. Your local kind of average baguette works okay as well, but really you want something crunchy on the outside, light and fluffy on the inside. Be all kinds of meat, beef, I think chicken as well. Most commonly I think is the shrimp or prawns like we're gonna do today, and it's often called when it's done fully loaded. So mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, pickles, and sometimes hot sauce as well. Shrimp or prawns wherever you are in the world. Did you know, interesting fact, that shrimp and prawns are technically different animals, but they pretty much taste exactly the same? Wild. Now you know. Peeled and deveined. I like the small ones. I think they're kind of a bit sweeter and they're easier to deal with in a sandwich. Milk, this is probably an optional step. You don't really need to use milk. The dredge should probably stick, but I like to put a bit of milk on there. And then the dredge, polenta, fine polenta, so cornmeal effectively. Old Bay, if you live in Australia, this is an American seasoning from that part of the US. It's delicious, and it's in most of the major supermarkets now. It's pretty easy to get your hands on. It's basically a spice blend. Go pretty heavy with it in the dredge mix, and of course season with some salt. Get that all nicely mixed up. Okay, then always when you're dealing with dredge or crumbing, one wet hand, one dry hand. So wet hand in here, goes in here, and then just drop them around so they're not touching each other, and then start coating. I like to push the dredge to one side. Once they're kind of coated, push them to the other. Okay, now once you've got them all loosely coated, you can just go back through and toss them all together. If these are gonna sit for a while, make sure you leave them in plenty of dredge, and that way they won't kind of dry out and stick to each other. You want nice individually coated shrimp. All right, let's get some oil on heating up. All right, I've got my oil here, hot, 180 degrees Celsius. I'm using peanut oil. Take our little prawns, just shake off any excess, and carefully in they go. They won't take long to cook, 3 or 4 minutes. Give them a light season as soon as they come out of the oil. Helps absorb any oil that's kind of left on there as well. Yum. Sweet, crunchy, well seasoned. You'll taste your food. Taste as you go. All right, time to assemble. We're gonna make this about 25, 30 centimeters. Cut it open, pretty simple. Mayonnaise, both sides. Lettuce on the bottom. Tomatoes, pickles, prawns. We're not shy with the prawns. Now that is a sandwich. We really need to wrap it in paper so you can kind of close it up a bit, but I reckon that's pretty good. I'll be pretty happy if I got that. All right, we'll cut it in half and have a look. Look at that delicious prawn meat. I'm pretty excited for this. I'm just gonna get it in there. That prawn shrimp meat makes a fantastic sandwich. I also forgot to mention at the start that they often do it with fried oysters, which sounds just as delicious. That crunchy bread, that really sweet prawn meat, the pickles, tomato, the crunch of the lettuce, the mayonnaise, it brings it all together. That's a good sanger. But the next sandwich is a personal favorite of mine. It's actually also in my cookbook, as well as a whole section on sandwiches. Don't forget, if you want to order a copy of the cookbook, the link will be down below. Link in the bio. Get it. Is it gonna beat the po' boy? Let's find out. The Reuben sandwich, our absolute favorite of mine. There's lots of debate over this one between Nebraska and New York, and I am not getting involved. Let's just all agree it's delicious. So starting with the meat. So I cooked corned beef the other day, and it's effectively the same process, but to run you through it quickly, put the meat in some water, bring it up to a light simmer for 10 minutes, remove the meat from the water, and refresh the water to get rid of the scum. Then we're gonna add some aromats and fresh water to the pot along with the beef. We've got carrots, onions, celery, white peppercorns, and bay leaf, and we're gonna simmer that for 30 minutes for every 500 grams of meat. Once it's simmered, turn the heat off, leave the lid on and let it rest in the water for like half an hour. And then you're gonna pull it out, and this is what you're gonna end up with. Let it get to room temp before we slice it. Then the bread, you're gonna want some light rye bread. You do it with dark rye also, but it's really hard to find dark rye in Australia. Well, I've struggled to find it. I know there's a bakery in Sydney that makes it, but this is from our friends down the road at Rick's. Apart from that, we're gonna need Thousand Island dressing. There's lots of recipes for Thousand Island dressing. This is kind of one of my versions of it. I do it kind of different for different things. But in here we have some ketchup, mayonnaise, some gherkin relish. I'm gonna finely grate a shallot in here, and then we're gonna add some Worcestershire sauce and give it a mix. Some Thousand Island has horseradish, some doesn't have any of the relish at all. There's lots of different versions of it. The Reuben sandwich can also have Russian dressing in it, which is pretty similar to a Thousand Island anyway. But and I think these recipes kind of morph depending on where you are in the States or in the world for that matter. The reason I like using shallot when you're having a raw application like this is I think it's not quite as harsh as onion. The other thing that I really like doing is putting so much sauce in a bowl that's really too small and then struggling with mixing it. Big fan of making my life harder for myself. All right, we'll have a taste. Yum. Sweet, salty, delicious. Okay, then we're gonna need Swiss cheese, stuff with the holes in it, and sauerkraut. Ugh. With the sauerkraut, what we wanna do is squeeze it out. Otherwise you're gonna get a soggy sandwich. So I pull it out. Make sure you use tongs or something to get the sauerkraut out. Otherwise it might go off quicker. And then just squeeze some of that liquid out. I just find if you don't, it can go soggy. I also like a lot of sauerkraut. That's the face I make when I'm doing strenuous work at the gym. Okay, the bread. Now, you can cut it like this, but that's boring. We want big sandwiches. So I cut it on an angle. You lose a little bit here. I won't lie, it's a little bit wasteful. Well, you don't lose it, I'm still gonna eat it, but you end up with this piece like that I'll end up just ripping apart and eating throughout the day. But a decent thick piece of bread. This is a hearty sandwich. That's our sandwich. Obviously there needs to be stuff in the middle, but you get the gist. We're gonna grill that when we heat up our meat. Clean up on aisle 2. Don't use a tea towel, you're a grub. Slice the meat against the grain. So, hey, can you tell what way the grain's running? This piece is really obvious. The grains are running this way, so we're gonna slice it this way. And I don't like it too thin. I like a little bit of thickness to it. And we're gonna go pretty heavy on the meat. Like that thick. Leave the little fat cap on there as well. I like it, it's nice. To the grill. I like to do this on a grill, but you can just do it in a pan. Helps if the grill's on. It's hard to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by seagulls.
When you are the seagulls.
Okay, we're just gonna get some bar lines on our bread. Put that down first, and we're gonna heat our meat through. All right, time to assemble. Bread down, sauce on both sides, to the edges. Don't be skimpy. Meat. Load it up. Now I may be going a little bit overboard here, but I am a big fan of stacked Reuben sandwiches. Sauerkraut, cheese. Now we're just gonna run this under the grill quickly. Top our sandwich. There you go. The Reuben sandwich. This is a sandwich that I think we should cut to serve because there's no way even I'm getting that around my mouth. So let's see what the cross section looks like. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sandwiched out by this point in the shoot, but I can't not try this. So let's see if I can even get it in my mouth. It's honestly, there's no words. It just works so well. And the sweetness of the sauce, a nice salty meaty corned beef, the pickleness, is that even a word? The brininess from the sauerkraut, the cheese brings it all together, that delicious rye bread. There's no wonder people are arguing over who invented this because it's one of the best sandwiches in the world. But what one of these three is your favorite? And if it's not one of these, then let me know what is your favorite sandwich in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Like this video if you took anything from it. Subscribe if you're not. And we'll see you next week for another recipe. Cheers.